Okay, we'll start with the next property of the transition element. That is, the next property is formation of alloys. Formation of alloys. Formation of alloy. Now, first, what is the alloy here? The first point I can say here, transition metals. Metals forms transition metal forms alloys where atoms of one metal atoms of one metal are distributed randomly in the lattice of another metal. See here, what is the alloy? What is the alloy here? The transition metal can form the alloys. Alloys means what? First of all, let's write the meaning, simple meaning of the alloy. Alloy means it is combination of two or more metal in a definite proportion. What is alloy? It is a just a basic idea. Alloy means what? It is a combination of two or more metal, but in a definite proportion. So we can combine two or more metal together, but the percentage of the each metal should be the fixed, are called as the alloy. So what we have said here, transition metal forms the alloy where atoms of one metal is distributed randomly in the lattice of the another metal. For example, अगर आपको example लेना है तो suppose we can say here we are having the, like, for example, we are having here like copper atom, copper 1, 2, 3, and 4, copper atom 2 and 4. These are basically copper atoms, copper atom. Now I just showing copper, and here in copper atom between randomly 1, the shaded one are the zinc atom. So if you'll see here, we are having copper atom. So this is a crystal lattice of copper. ये हमारा कॉपर का क्रिस्टल लैटिस है, मतलब कॉपर के आइटम्स है. These are atoms of copper. But in between, the one metal is distributed randomly. And here zinc is distributed. See, in the first row, second element, second row, the third element, third row, the first element, and here. The shaded region means which one? Zinc atom. Zinc atoms are distributed randomly in the crystal lattice of the copper. That's how they can form the alloy. So transition metal can form the alloy. How? Where the atoms of one element, one metal is distributed randomly in the lattice of the another metal. This is just you all to understand. Right? This is the example I have given just to make you understand. So what is alloy here? It is a combination of two or more metal in definite proportion. Like here you have taken a brass. This alloy is called as a brass, and brass is made up of what? Copper and zinc. And in copper and zinc, like copper is like for example 80%, and the zinc is equal to 20%. The percentage is always whenever we form the brass, these two elements should be there, copper and zinc. And copper has to be how much? 80%, and zinc has to be how much? 20%. Like that way. This is just the idea. So what is alloy? Transition metal can form the alloy where the atoms of one metal is distributed randomly in the lattice of the another metal. So in this example, atom of the zinc metal are distributed randomly in the crystal lattice of the copper. Okay, that's the first point. What is second point? You can say the metals with similar radii and similar properties readily forms alloy. Now, who all can form the alloy? The metals with similar radius. The two metal, like for example, we are having copper and zinc. So copper and zinc are supposed to have the similar radius, and they should have the similar property. Then they can form the alloy. The metal which are having similar radii and the metal which are having similar properties can form the alloy. These are the point related to the formation of the alloy. There are 2 points. What the first one? Transition metal can form the alloy when one atoms of the one metal is distributed randomly in the lattice of the another metal. In the lattice of the another metal. Okay. Then the metal with similar radii and similar properties can readily form the alloys. Here, normally in case of copper and zinc, what happen? Copper and zinc, they have the similar radius. Therefore, they can fit properly here. And also they have the similar properties. Now, after that, we have two types of alloys. Alloys are of two types. Alloys are of two types. The first one is ferrous alloy. The first one is a ferrous alloy. Now, what is a ferrous alloy? What is the ferrous alloy here? A ferrous alloy means what? Ferrous alloy alloys have atoms of other element distributed distributed randomly ferrous alloy have the atoms of other element distributed randomly in atoms of iron in the mixture. See here, what is ferrous alloy? Ferrous alloy have the atoms of other element. Other element मतलब other बाकी के elements के जो element रहेंगे and they are distributed in the randomly मतलब atoms of other element distributed randomly in the atoms of iron मतलब main structure में कौन रहेगा iron रहेगा iron और बीच बीच में दूसरे अलग अलग एटम्स रहेंगे तो अगर आयन रहेगा तो इसलिए उस अलग को क्या होना है फेरस बिकॉज आयन इज कॉल्ड एज आयन सिंबल इज व्हाट Fe एंड Fe इज कॉल्ड एज द फेरस तो इसलिए मतलब आयन वहां पे प्रेजेंट है इसलिए उसको नाम क्या दिया गया है फेरस अलॉय सो व्हाट इज फेरस अलॉय the atoms of other element distributed randomly in the mixture of iron or in the iron in the atoms of iron in the mixture. That's why they are called as the ferrous alloy. Example, and or I can say as percentage of iron, as percentage of iron is more, they are the iron percentage ज़्यादा रहेगा बाकी के एलिमेंट का percentage कम रहेगा. As the percentage of iron is more, they are termed as ferrous alloys. Example, this is the first point I can say. This is second point, and 1 minute I'll go on the other side page. For example, nickel steel means nickel element is mixed in the iron. Chromium steel, chromium is mixed in the iron. Stainless steel, carbon is mixed in the iron. Stainless steel, and all steel, all different type of the steels, all steels have 2% of carbon. All steel have 2% of carbon, correct? So what is the ferrous alloy? What is the ferrous alloy here? The atoms of other element like copper, nickel, chromium, atoms of other element are distributed randomly in the atoms of iron in the mixture, and therefore they are called as the ferrous alloy because iron is in the more percentage, therefore they are called as the ferrous alloy. An example is what? Nickel steel, chromium steel, stainless steel, and all steel have the 2% of carbon. मतलब अगर कोई भी स्टील होगा तो कार्बन कंटेंट रहेगा मतलब यहाँ पे आयन रहेगा निकेल रहेगा और कार्बन रहेगा यहाँ पे क्रोमियम रहेगा आयन रहेगा कार्बन रहेगा and stainless steel में iron and carbon रहेगा. Now for the B part, that is non-ferrous alloy. Non-ferrous alloy. These are formed. How do we get non-ferrous alloy? These are formed by mixing. These are formed by mixing atoms of transition metal, atoms of transition metal other than iron, मतलब यहाँ पे iron नहीं रहेगा. These are formed by mixing atoms of transition metal. मतलब यहाँ पे हम लोग copper, chromium, manganese use कर सकते हैं, but other than iron with a non transition element. तो यहाँ पे एक एलिमेंट रहेगा ट्रांजिशन और दूसरा एलिमेंट रहेगा नॉन ट्रांजिशन. इन ट्रांजिशन एलिमेंट में आयन नहीं रहेगा, तो एक एलिमेंट रहेगा ट्रांजिशन एलिमेंट अदर देन आयन, और किस में मिक्स करेंगे हम लोग? नॉन ट्रांजिशन एलिमेंट. एग्जाम्पल brass, which is an alloy of copper and zinc. See, copper is a transition element and zinc is not a transition element. So it is a alloy of what? It is a alloy formed by mixing atoms of transition metal other than iron. तो ये हमारा transition element है, iron से अलग है, and a non-transition element, that is zinc is a non-transition element. Okay. Now we'll go for the next one, that is uses of alloys. Where the different areas we can use them. So what is non-ferrous alloy? These are formed by mixing the atoms of transition metal use करना है, but other than iron. Iron नहीं use करना. Iron के अलावा कोई भी transition element use कर सकते हो, और उसे किसके साथ combine करना है आपको? non transition element के साथ combine करना है. non transition element के साथ combine करना है. Correct? So example is what? Brass, which is an example of what? Copper and zinc. Copper is a transition element and zinc is not a transition element. Now we can see use of alloys. Now what are the uses over here? The first one, bronze. Bronze, an alloy of copper and tin. Bronze is the alloy of copper. Copper is Cu and tin is what? Sn. Bronze is the alloy of copper and tin, correct? It is tough, strong, and corrosion resistant. देखो ये हमारा जो ब्रॉन्ज है, ब्रॉन्ज किससे बना हुआ रहेगा? कॉपर एंड टिन से, Cu एंड N. It is a tough. इसके फिजिकल प्रॉपर्टीज क्या है देखो? It is a tough, it is strong, and it is corrosion resistant. It is used for making statues, medals, and trophies. They are used for making statues, they are used for making medals, and they are make what? Trophies. ये हमारा bronze है. The bronze is an alloy of copper and tin. It is very tough, strong, and corrosion resistant, and it is used for making statues, medals, and trophies. Second one, cupra nickel. Cupra nickel. Cupra nickel. It is an alloy of copper and nickel. It is an alloy of copper and nickel. So copper, Cu, and nickel is what? Ni. So cupra nickel is very clear. Cupra means copper and nickel together. It is used for making machinery parts of marine ship, boats. It is used for making machinery parts of marine ship and boat. For example, marine कंडेंसर ट्यूब्स, मतलब जो मरीन शिप्स होते हैं उसके अंदर कौन सी ट्यूब होती है? मरीन कंडेंसर ट्यूब। और मरीन कंडेंसर ट्यूब बनाने के लिए क्या यूज करते हैं हम लोग? क्यूप्रा निकेल अलॉय। व्हाट इज क्यूप्रा निकेल? इट इज एन अलॉय ऑफ कॉपर एंड निकेल. It is used for making the machinery parts of the marine ship and boats. An example is what? Marine condenser tube. Next one, stainless steel. Stainless steel. It is used in the construction of outer fuselage. It is used in the construction of outer fuselage of ultra high speed aircraft. It is used in the construction of what? Outer fuselage of ultra high speed aircraft. Steel. Steel normally किससे बना रहेगा? Iron, mainly iron and carbon. Mainly iron and carbon. Stainless steel is made of iron and carbon. It is used in the construction of outer fuselage of ultra high speed aircraft. Next. Next, nichrome, or you can say nichrome. Nichrome, an alloy of nickel and chromium. Nichrome is an alloy of nickel and chromium. Nickel and chromium in the ratio of 80 to 20%. It has been developed. It has been developed specifically for gas turbine engines. Here, nichrome, it is an alloy of what? Nickel and chromium. It is in the ratio of what 80 to 20. मतलब निकेल कितना रहेगा 80%, chromium कितना रहेगा 20%, and it has specially been developed specifically for what gas turbine engine. मतलब gas चूंकि जो turbine engines होते हैं उन्हें बनाने के लिए nichrome alloy use करते हैं. And the last alloy here, that is titanium alloy, withstand stress up to high temperature and are used for ultra high speed flight, also used for fireproof bulkheads and exhaust shrouds. See what is here? The titanium alloy. Titanium alloy can withstand stress at a very high temperature. This alloy can be used specially at a very high temperature and they use for what? Ultra high speed flight. The high speed जो flight होते हैं उनके साथ time use कर सकते हो. They are used as a fireproof bulkheads and exhaust shrouds because they can withstand at a very high temperature. मतलब बहुत बहुत high temperature रहेगा तो भी इन्हें फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. इसलिए these alloy can be used for what? Ultra high speed flight. They can use as a fireproof bulkheads. मतलब fireproof है because they can withstand at very high temperature. मतलब बहुत heat रहेगा तो भी इन्हें कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. So they can use as what? Fireproof bulkheads and they can be also used as what? Exhaust shrouds. So these are the alloy. I'll repeat once again. What is alloy? The transition metal can form the alloy where atoms of one metal is randomly distributed in the lattice of the another metal. Basically, what is simple meaning of alloy? It is a combination of two or more metal but in a definite proportion are called as the alloy. What is second one? Alloy can be formed by using what? Atom of having similar radii or atom having the similar property. Alloy are of two types, ferrous alloy and non-ferrous alloy. What is ferrous alloy? Here in this one, alloy is having atom of other element distributed randomly in the atom of the iron. And as the percentage of the iron is more, they are called as a ferrous alloy. Example of the ferrous alloys are which one? Nickel, steel, chromium steel and stainless steel. And remember that all steel contain 2% of carbon. What is non-ferrous alloy? It is an alloy formed by the mixing atoms of the transition metal other than iron with a non-transition element. Example is what? Brass. Brass is made up of what? Copper. Brass is made up of copper and zinc. And then use of the alloy bronze. Bronze is made up of what? Sometime in the multiple choice question they can ask you. कि bronze किससे बना हुआ है? Copper and tin से बना है. Correct? It is very tough, strong and corrosion resistant. It is used for making statues, medals and trophies. Second one is cupra nickel. It is of the alloy of what? Copper and nickel. It is used in making machinery parts of marine ship, boats and marine condenser tube. Stainless steel, normally it is made up of what? Stainless steel, it is made up of iron and carbon. It is used in the construction of the outer fuselage of ultra high speed aircraft. Then nichrome alloy, it is an alloy of nickel and chromium and it has been developed specially for what? Gas turbine engine. And titanium alloy which can withstand very high temperature, and because it can withstand very high temperature it is used for what? Ultra high speed flight. Is also used for what? Fireproof bulkheads and exhaust shrouds. So we are finished with the alloy. Now we'll be going for the next heading. The next heading we are having common properties of D block element. Common properties of D block element. And in common property, the first we are having here, that is physical properties. Common properties of the D block element. And in the common properties, we're having what? Common physical properties. Now we'll see one by one which are the common physical properties. Yes, which are the common physical properties. The first one is all D block element are lustrous and shiny. Means all D block element shines in the presence of sunlight, or they have a shining nature. Correct. So all D block elements are lustrous and shiny. Second one, they all are hard and they have a high density, because they are metal. Metals are very hard and they are very high density. And because they are very hard and high density, they are having high melting and boiling point. They have high melting and boiling point. Next one, they all are good electrical and thermal conductor. Means through them we can pass the electricity, through them we can pass the heat. So they are good conductor of electricity and heat. Then they have very high tensile strength. Matlab tensile strength means what? They have very high load bearing capacity. They all have a very high load bearing capacity, and they are show the malleability. Malleability means what? They can be hammered into thin sheets. They can form the alloys with the transition and the non-transition element. D block element can form the alloy with the transition as well as with the non-transition element. Many metals and their compound are paramagnetic in nature. Means they shows the paramagnetic means what? They shows the magnetic property. So many metal and their compound are paramagnetic. Paramagnetic means what? They shows the magnetic property. And most of the metal are efficient catalyst. Means many metal can be used as a catalyst. So what are the physical properties? All D block elements are lustrous and shiny. Second, they are very hard and have high density. Third, they have high melting and boiling point. Fourth, they are odd good conductors of heat and electricity. They are very high tensile strength, so they can be malleable. They can form the alloys with the transition and non-transition element. They are paramagnetic in nature, means they show the magnetic property, and most of the metal are efficient catalysts. एक physical properties थे. Now I'll go for the chemical properties. What are chemical properties? All the D block elements are electropositive metal. All the D block element have a tendency to lose electron, and the element which lose electron are called as what? Electropositive. So all the D block elements are electropositive metal. Second, they exhibit variable valencies and form the color salt and complexes. They shows the variable oxidation number. Scandium can lose 2 electrons, so it can form +2 oxidation state. Scandium can lose 3 electron, so it can form the +3 oxidation state. So they shows the variable oxidation state, and they can form the color salt and they can form the complexes. They are a good reducing agent. They can use as a good reducing agent. They form insoluble oxides and hydroxide. They form the oxide and hydroxide, but which are insoluble. And iron, cobalt, copper, molybdenum, zinc are biologically important metal. They are part of our human body or a plant body or an animal body, but they are very important for a living being. Iron, cobalt, copper, molybdenum, and zinc are biologically important metal, and they can also catalyze the biological reaction. मतलब many transition element can be used as a catalyst in the biological reaction. मतलब in our body many reactions are taking place, and to catalyze this reaction transition metal can be used as a catalyst. मतलब हमारे बॉडी के अंदर बहुत सारे रिएक्शन चल रहे हैं और वो रिएक्शन को स्पीड अप करने के लिए हम ट्रांजिशन एलिमेंट को क्या यूज करते हैं, कैटलिस्ट यूज करते हैं. So these are the chemical properties. Okay, so we have seen with the physical properties, then we have seen with chemical properties, physical and chemical properties. And after physical and chemical property, I'll just go for the last heading, that is differences. What is differences among themselves? Yes, what is differences? So in differences we can say here, although most properties exhibited by the D block elements are similar, the element of the first row differ from the second and the third row in stabilization of higher oxidation state in their compound. Means many property of the first transition series and second and third are the similar, but some properties like element of the first row differ from the second and third row in stabilization of higher oxidation state. Like for example, MO. MO is a molybdenum, oxidation number +5, and tungsten, oxidation number 6. Now molybdenum is from the second series and tungsten is from the third series. Okay, I'll just write down here. MO is called as a molybdenum. Molybdenum is from the second series and symbol is MO. Then W is called as a tungsten. Tungsten is from the third series. So molybdenum is from the second series and tungsten is from the third series. But molybdenum shows which oxidation number +5 and tungsten shows which oxidation number 6. And both are more stable than chromium 6. Both are more stable than chromium 6 and manganese 8. And these are the element of the first transition. These are the element of the first transition series. Matlab, molybdenum is a member of the second series. Tungsten is a member of the third transition series. Correct? But in molybdenum, in the which oxidation number +5. Tungsten in the which oxidation number +6. And in the +5 and +6 state, they are more stable than chromium, which oxidation number +6, and Mn, which oxidation number +7 of that of the first series. But normally what we say, as the oxidation number increases, stability goes on decreasing. But here molybdenum +5 and tungsten +6 state are more stable than the chromium +6 and manganese 7 of the first transition series. And next point, this is the first difference. Second difference is what? Highest oxidation state for the element of the first row is what? +7. मतलब first row का मतलब first transition series का कौन सा element है? Manganese. Manganese का higher oxidation number +7 है. But in case of third row, मतलब third series, the +8 oxidation state is the highest, and that is in case of which compound? RuO4 and OSO4. So what I can say, for first series, +7 is higher for first series, the +7 is higher oxidation state, whereas +8 is higher oxidation state for third series. +7 is a higher oxidation state for the first series, correct? For first series, +7 is the higher oxidation state, whereas +8 is the higher oxidation state for the third series in RuO4. In RuO4, Ru has an oxidation number of +8, and in OSO4, OS has an oxidation number of +8. Matlab, in first series, +7 is the higher oxidation number, but in third series, +8 is the higher oxidation number, and +8 हमें कहाँ पे देखने के लिए मिलेगा? RuO4, रुटेशियम will show +8, and दूसरा osmium, OSO4, osmium will show which one? +8 oxidation state. Okay, so we have seen with the common properties of the D block element, common physical properties. This we have done from refer textbook, page number 176, and chemical properties also we have done from the textbook, refer textbook, page 177, and differences you can refer from page 177. Is also 176. Okay. There are two differences. What is first difference is the element of the second and third series are stable in the +5 and +6 oxidation state, and then the chromium and manganese of the first series. And second, what you see, for first series, +7 is the higher oxidation state, whereas the +8 is a higher oxidation state for the element of the third series. And which element will show +8? RuO4, potassium, and OSO4, osmium. They will show the +8 oxidation state. Okay. So today we have seen with the alloy and the common properties of the D block element, physical and chemical properties. Okay. We'll stop it over here, and the next part will continue in the next lecture.